are live. This is Dr. Cassandra Bradford with Business First, and I am here with Mr. Brian King of iGlobal Coach, you guys. Listen, I met this man a few years ago. It's been like 4 or 5 years now. Brian, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. You muted yourself. There you go. We need to hear your voice. That voice. He got that radio TV voice, y'all. That talk over voice. You know these y'all with these Audible books now. But I met Brian King at the Black Wall Street a few years ago. How many years has it been now?
That at least had to be, 3.5, maybe 4 years ago.
11 years, yeah.
11 years.
11. And I'm gonna tell you, I was as a speaker, when you hear someone else deliver with such passion and compassion about their topic, you said, "Oh my God, this man is amazing, and he's smart, and he knows what he's talking about, and he didn't stutter." So I said, so for years I've been trying to get Brian to be a part of Run Women's Conference, and he travels all over the world, not the city, y'all, but he travels all over the world, and I'm gonna tell you, he's hard to come by. But today we have snagged him, we've grabbed him, right? For the next 30 minutes, I want to introduce to you guys Mr. Brian King.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited, and it is always a pleasure to do something that's at the bottom of your heart. I love business. I love entrepreneurship. And when I heard that you were doing this podcast, I had to be a part of it. So I look forward to what we're going to talk about today, and hopefully we can drop some good gems to really help fellow entrepreneurs out there to have that proper mindset of what it takes to win.
I mean, with this pandemic, so many people are tuning in to podcasts and blog talk radio, really trying to hone in their skills, I hope. I've been on Facebook doing a lot of fussing at my entrepreneurs with love, because I want to make sure that they're successful. Not that we're just sitting here doing nothing. I believe that with this pandemic, this is when we're supposed to thrive. You know, when we started a business because there was a problem.
Correct.
And you came up with a solution, a better way of doing things, a greater way of doing things. And then you found out that there was profit in it. Emphasis on that word profit. And that's why you started a business, because there was a problem. So when I see people now during this pandemic that's doing nothing, oh, my business is hurting. I'm like, this is when you're supposed to have witty ideas. This is when you're supposed to be prosperous. So I just want you to tell everybody how you got started. You know, how did you get to iGlobal Coaching? And I just need you to tell everything.
So crazy stuff about iGlobal Coach. I've been coaching for the last 15 years, but iGlobal actually started the name in Vancouver, Canada. And so my hope at that time is I wanted to be international. And so my wife and we came up with the concept, and we were dating. And so we came up with an acronym, I for influence, G for growth, L for leadership, O for opportunity, B for betterment, A for action, and L for legacy. And so when you look at the acronym of iGlobal all around the world, you can use it. And so then we took it a little bit step deeper and said, what's one of the bigger things that we need in this world? And we need to have positive change. And so the focus was creating change agents. And I can't lie to you, because of COVID, my business has been thriving. Why? Because I think the $1 million question that a lot of people are going to ask after all of this, the dust settles, is what did you do differently during COVID? Did you just Netflix and chill? Did you reinvent yourself? Did you do something to learn a different skill set? What did you do with your time? Because we were all held hostage at home for months. And a lot of us either got complacent or we got focused. And so in a nutshell, I got focused. And we got focused making an impact and helping other people. And that impact now is global. We've been able to reach on my platform over about 5 to 6 different countries, going from Canada, the States, Bahamas, South Africa, Uganda, just many other places. And by doing so, it's been able to make a difference. It's been huge.
Do you guys hear this? Just like I said, when there is a problem, this is when we thrive. I think this is when we're supposed to ask for witty ideas. You know, God, give me witty ideas. Give me help broaden my product list, right?
Right.
Let me team with some other people and do some collaborative efforts. Instead of us sitting watching Netflix all day, and unless that's your business, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with Netflix, unless that's a part of your business. Or Netflix is sending you a check, right? And I just think that this is a time that we can be honing in our skills, especially if you want to be a speaker. This is get in the mirror and practice. Right? Take a course, take a class, join a group. I mean, you got your stimulus money.
Come on now.
You got your stimulus money. You're getting more money than unemployment. Some people, not everybody. No, I understand some people struggling. But
Right.
Brian, tell me or tell us, you know, what was that pivotal moment that you said, you know what, I'm getting ready to launch out into the deep?
You know what it was, and I'm gonna go back on here. Always go back to the genesis of when was the first time that I made my own money. And so I remember growing up, right around the corner, a couple of blocks away, there was this wealthy neighborhood. And they had the nice cars, the nice homes. And so a homeboy of mine, we needed to make some money. Stuff was tight. My mother worked actually 2 to 3 different jobs. And I knew that I needed to make some money for myself for some of the things that I wanted. And so long story short, we would get up on Saturday. I would ride on the handlebars, bring a bucket and a portable vacuum, and we would knock on doors and we would ask, can we wash their cars? We knock on hundreds of doors. So we had a very high price of $5 for the outside, $5 for the inside. And I remember that day that we made $140. And what that told me at the age of 14, that it's possible that if you have a skill set and you put in the time, you can make the money. And so I started to invest in myself at that time. I started to do professional and personal development. I joined Toastmasters. I started to read books as I got older, and it became intentional. And so to answer your question roundabout, even for this COVID piece, I got to a place in life that I said, you know what? I have to fully jump. I have to. It's not just about me right now. It's about legacy. And so my last name is King. I can't be poor. I got to have some wealth and resources, but it's going to take me believing in myself so much that I invested in myself, which then I can be an investment for other people. So hopefully that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot. Well, you know, it makes a lot of sense to me, but you know, there's so many people that's a coach, right? Everybody's a coach. I'm a money coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a fitness coach. I'm a fat coach. You know, tell everybody what kind of coach you are and what does that mean?
Awesome. Great question. So I am a performance coach and I focus on sales and leadership. What does that mean? I help you get to a different level. So for instance, I go to corporations and companies. If they have sales structure like insurance agencies, real estate agencies, anything that has to attract customers. And I work with their employees to change their mindset. From a leadership standpoint, a lot of people don't understand just because you're a manager or a supervisor doesn't mean that you're a leader. Managers manage systems, leaders cast visions. So my organization comes in and I globify them. And we teach them that it's not just about you, that your leadership needs to be purpose driven. It needs to be something that people tie into the bigger picture. And so I don't knock everybody because I know everybody in the Grandma could be a coach. But from what I've been able to do, it's proven. And so I tell any type of new people, documentation beats conversation. Put some skin in the game. Invest in yourself so other people will invest in you. And so my performance coaching is going in and teaching the game of sales and applying that leadership so companies can grow 15, 20, 30, 40 fold as they get the level of coaching that they need.
I'm gonna tell you something, Brian. We've had this conversation over coffee, as you know. There are so many small businesses. I mean, they can do the work. You know, if you're in construction, you can build the house. I have no problem with that skill. But a lot of people, when they start a business, they don't understand. You got to sell.
Period.
I hear people say all the time, "Oh, I don't like talking to people." But you're a small business owner. You're an entrepreneur. When did that happen? That doesn't even go together. It crosses.
Right.
And they, because they are afraid of sales, they don't like to sell. They don't want to talk about money. They just want to do the work. Well, if you're not going to talk about the money, how are you going to get paid? So how can you help somebody, especially, and Brian, I'll tell you, maybe 65-70% of my small businesses that come to my office, they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to sell themselves or their service or their business. Are those the type of people that you can help?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would first start with the $1 million question is, what is your brand? People say, what do you mean brand? And so, when you think of something, when I go to Neiman Marcus, it's a brand. It's not just the label, it's the level of service, it's how I'm treated. All of that goes into your sales. What I tell people that hate sales, I let them know every day somebody is selling. Either you're selling or somebody's selling to you. I'm selling my business. I'm selling myself as a human being. I'm selling my recommendation. And so I think at a deeper level, what businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs, even coaches have to understand that when you're doing sales, you're not doing something that's sleazy and wrong. You're doing a service.
Yeah.
And so I share a quick story about a couple of years ago. I wanted to get a 65-inch Samsung 4K curved television.
Uh-oh. Be
Listen,
specific now.
I studied it. Now it was $4,000, Cassandra. $4,000. I said, I refuse. Black Friday came. And so I found out the same TV that I wanted was about $1,800. Big sale. I was standing in line looking crazy, and I was able to get the TV. So check this out. I go there, I get the TV. A guy was trying to tell me to pick up some stuff. I'm like, man, I'm good. I left and I go back to the house to unbox it. And I wanted to see my TV like it was at Best Buy. So Dr. Cassandra, I plug it up, I look at it, and you know what? The picture was horrible. And I was frustrated. And I'm asking myself, I said, why does the TV not look like it did in the store? So I go back up there and I'm complaining. And the guy says, hey, sir, excuse me. I tried to let you know that you needed additional stuff with the TV. He says, $1 million question. Is this your first TV of that size? I said, yes. Did you know that you needed some golden HDMI to maximize the picture? No. You got a sound bar. How big is your living room? And I started to give him the dimensions. He says, a lot of customers like yourself, they just don't know because this is not what you do. We do this for a living. And so it's my job to help you have the experience that you want. And then I kind of smiled back at him and I said, I needed you to sell me. And so I always share that story to my entrepreneurs because a lot of times people they have a problem, but they don't know how to solve it. And so if you have a good service and you know how to connect and have some soft skills, you can be the remedy. You could be the solution to that particular problem.
I love it. I mean, our small business owners, you guys are starting your business right now. You guys are doing good because you said, listen, I got laid off during the pandemic. Or my job phased out or the company went out of business. And now I'm gonna start my own cake business. Hey, cake. Or whatever it is. But you say, I don't know how to sell, or I'm not good at talking to people about money. I haven't been trained. I haven't been taught. I think Brian King is a person you may want to talk to about your business, because if you're not talking about money, I don't know what you're talking about. How are you going to get the income? How are you going to generate the revenue? I mean, I can start talking about some other stuff. Line up. How are you buying your product? How do you determine what your profits are? How do you know if somebody's stealing if you don't have inventory? We can go through a whole bunch of questions over here. But we need to have conversations up, because you can't talk about how you're going to make more money if you don't know how to sell yourself. We do business. Now, Brian, stop me if I'm wrong. We do business with people that we know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
People don't know you. And if you're hesitant about the value, about your value, and then number two, what your price points are, then people are going to always try and, I say Jew you down. I don't know if that's the proper way of saying things. I'm from the Midwest, y'all. That's what we say. Because when people come into my office and go, okay, but Cassandra, all I have is this amount of money. Well, these are my prices. Right. When you get the rest of it, give me a call. Because these are my prices. When you go to Walmart or Albertsons or Kroger's or Best Buy and you look for that television and you say, well, I understand that it's on sale it's Black Friday, it's on sale for $1,000 or whatever, $1,000. But all I got is $200. They're not going to give you the TV, and that doesn't work. So, and because they know the value of that television, right? Walmart knows the value of that television. They're not going to say, well, all they got is $200 and they come in here and buy Cheetos every week. So, and they say hi to us, and, wipe their little orange fingers on us. You got to know the value of your products, goods, and services, and you got to know how to sell. And if you don't, I would strongly suggest you investing with a professional development coach. Someone a performance coach, somebody that can help you. And my speakers, oh my goodness. You get on the stage and you wow them. I mean, drop the mic, wow them. And that's it. You don't sell from the front of the stage. You don't sell from the middle of the room. You don't sell from the back of the room. And you go home telling everybody that you dropped the mic. But how did you make money? Brian, I don't understand. I mean, can you help me with this?
Absolutely. You know what it is, and I've seen that. I've been I was with a company for 6 years, and the blessing is I served in the capacity as a coach, but also I was doing sales. And so we would bring in trainers that would lead these 3-day seminars and workshops. And one of the complaints that we would have is that they were doing too much teaching. And they were teaching so much that they never motivated the people to move. And so what I tell all people when they sit down with me, everything is a sale. You're selling yourself. But you got to have something called a call to action. And so if you're watching this and if you just want to take a good note, because we're going to drop some gems on here, a call to action is when you throw out a mandate for somebody to take action. And so normally when I'm in front of people and I'm doing some sales, I always like to say, hey, I'm going to start with my 4 pillars for anybody that potentially could be a client, a student, so on and so forth. Pillar number 1, you got to be coachable, which is the ability to follow directions. Number 2, you got to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined. You got to be able to stick with it long enough. Number 3, decisive. So many people talk about change, want to change, pray about change, tweet change, Instagram change, but they don't do any type of change. And the last thing is being committed. And so when you're speaking from the stage, automatically when they're listening to you, they're seeing you as the person of the voice of reason. They're seeing you as the expert. Do them justice and offer them a book, offer them a program, offer them a coaching session, because at best they'll be able to retain 20 to 25%. But if they can have your coaching or they can have a one-on-one, just think about how much you can help them. And so another thing that I wanted to add on as well, Dr. Cassandra, is you talked about the value of your product. One thing that I do with performance coaching is I talk about mindset. And so at my academy, which I have as well, we have something called the 3 M's, mindset, multiplication, and management. I'm just going to talk about the first one. If you don't see that you're a person of value, then you won't charge yourself as a person of value. And so we got to be careful not to have the stinking thinking. We got to be careful that we got to put the right stuff in us, read the right books, be around the right people, watch the right things. And as you start to put that value in, what starts to happen is people will be attracted to it. Now, the opposite is that if you don't feel value, if you just want to sell your product for the cheapest possible, what you're basically saying without you even knowing is that you don't value yourself. And so that's going to take you spending some time with a coach and somebody that can help you see and become the best version of yourself.
You guys
Mm-hmm.
hear him. You authors, this applies to you too. You know, it's so many authors now that have written books and they believe that, hey, I'm going to travel the world and sell my $20 book. And my question is, how many books do you have to sell to pay for your expenses? Traveling the world. That day, that month, right? That year.
Right.
And that's a lot of books to sell. Now, unless you're a TD Jakes or somebody that's, pushing books by the millions, I just don't travel the world and sell a $20 book. I'm like you, Brian. I may give my book away. I may bless you. I may sow a seed. I may say, if you get the book, I mean, you sign up, I'll give you the book. Who knows, how I'm led that day. But I don't travel the world to sell a $20 book. So we have to, as authors, number one, you still got to sell. You got to know how to engage with people, right? To get them to know you, because they don't know you. You got to get them to like you. And you got to get them to trust you, because you are the authoritative mind in whatever the description that you're talking about, the subject matter.
Absolutely.
So authors, you may want to talk to Brian about being a performance coach. Hey, Brian, listen, I don't know. I need some more performance. Maybe my ginseng is not working. Brian is now the ginseng of performance coach. Because you may need some, because we get tired, and sometimes we get stuck. We have thought of every way to get in front of people and nobody's biting. So maybe we gotta, Brian, can you kind of help them maybe to determine who their market is?
You know what? I love what you're saying. So here's a free acronym I give out: is everyone needs a system. Save yourself time, energy, and money.
Save yourself.
Time, energy, and money. Come on, you got to have a system. Number two, you have to know who your market is. Just like you just mentioned, your market is not everybody. My mother's 65 years old, so Facebook ads that talk about having followers on Instagram doesn't apply to her. She doesn't know what Instagram is.
TikTok for me.
And a lot of times we have people that are just pushing products to people that are not even paying attention. It's not their demographic. And so one thing that I've learned as a coach, and maybe everybody that's listening, everybody that's successful has a coach. They have a sounding board. They have people that they can go to and mastermind with. What is a mastermind? A group of like-minded people that help you get to a goal. And so when you're an entrepreneur, you're starting a business, or even if you have one and you're the accountant, you're making your products, you're doing sales, you're the janitorial service, that's a lot going on. And so sometimes you just got to pull back and take a breath and ask, hey, I need some help. Now, here's one recommendation, if you mind if I give this one, Dr. Cassandra, is myself, I'm in Dallas. I'm a part of a group called Abundance Connectors. And what I like about this group is we meet twice a month, but it's small to medium-sized businesses that come together. And we take time to get to know one another. And so one of the rules in the group is before somebody will give you a referral, you need to have a one-on-one. And so in these one-on-ones, you sit down with one another, you meet over some good coffee, you ask questions, and you're asking not to get, but to receive. You want to receive information from them. You want to learn about them, because everybody's favorite radio station is what's in it for me. And what you find out is that as you start to talk to another human being and they understand who you are, they'll give you referrals. They'll help to build your business. And the law of reciprocity is you help to build their business.
He is 100% correct, you guys. So, Brian, listen, I know we're closing. Man, I need more time. What do you have coming up? Do you have any workshops, training, coaching packages? I mean, can we stand from across the street and you yell at us with a bullhorn? What you got going on?
I got a little bullhorn. I can stand on the ladder and just start talking. So first thing I wanted to do, I actually wanted to get with you because we need to put something together. I know we had talked over coffee before, but I believe this is the perfect season. Also outside of this, my website is iglobalcoach.com. You can submit your information via email and contact me. Before I even work with somebody, I like to sit down and find out if we're going to be a good fit. I'm going to check
If
our
you're coachable.
personalities. For real, because you'd be like, nah, I got it. I'm like, what? Sounds like you have somebody else. You just don't have me. So into that, we do have some upcoming workshops, but we like to customize this. So I've been having a lot of contracts lately. It's been a big move for entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're kind of worried about, hey, my money's tight, I don't know what's going on, that's fine. Still have the conversation, and let's see if we can possibly be a good fit for you. But I'll leave all my contact information on there. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at iGlobalCoach. And so that's across the board on all platforms.
You guys heard it. Brian got some stuff coming up. Brian, I can't wait to work with you. I have so much stuff coming up. I got to talk to you anyway because I got asked to go to Africa. I don't know anything about going. I'm like, you got to hire, my team has to go. I'm like, do I have a team? I got to get a team. And so, yeah, and so there's so much going on, and I'm so excited about what's happening, even during this pandemic. I hate to say, it's kind of like, I don't know if that's a good thing to say, but we've grown 3 times since COVID. We've had to expand our offices. We've hired, and still hiring, and it's just been amazing. And, I'm like you. I had to really sit down even with my coach and go, okay, I'm growing. I don't even know how to handle this, all the opportunities that's being sent my way because, we're a small firm, and we've had to do a lot of pivoting, and I'm grateful.
Yes.
And so you guys that are watching, we gotta wrap this up. You gotta contact Brian King at iglobalcoach.com.
Yeah, www.iglobalcoach.com.
Right, and I need you. If you guys are on Facebook, go to his page, stalk his page. I've done it. Right, he won't know on Facebook. On LinkedIn, he'll find out, but on Facebook, he won't know. Stalk his page. Call him. I'm pretty sure his contact information is out there. I know it's on his website. I've been on his website because I've seen his video. I've been like, I want a video just like that. I want to put my jacket on the same way. And they're like, don't you want your? No, I want to put my jacket on just like that. And I want you to go to iglobalcoach.com. Sign up. I mean, if you guys are struggling with the income that you're generating, right, and what you're doing, contact Brian King. Right?
Sounds good.
So listen, that's all the time we have for now. I know this was good, right? And so I am Dr. Cassandra Bradford. This has been Business First, and I will see you guys at the top. Bye. Thank you, Brian, so much.
My pleasure.